Hey guys, and welcome back to another ship review. Today we have the Origin M80 Heavy Fighter, thanks to DefenseCon 2026. First things first, we got ourselves a Heavy Fighter competitive PvP ship here. It's not over the top overpowered, it's not underperforming, it's right where it needs to be. Let's get into why. For technical specifications on the weapons end, we have a healthy 2 size 5 hardpoints and 2 size 4 hardpoints befitting of a heavy fighter kit. With the current meta heavily in favor of ballistics, which we hate by the way, we've leaned into bullet velocity today and damage per second with the size 5 bearing 85B ballistic Gatlings and 2 size 4 Apocalyptic's Arms Revenant ballistic Gatlings. These guns had little overheat, forgiving damage uptime, and the best option for dogfighting on the PvP side of things. Depending on your target package, you might want to go higher alpha for the armor penetration if punching up on larger ships is your target, but the best well-balanced option for a wider spread of opponents is the ballistic Gatlings. For components, it has one size 2 cooler, which we've got the Avalanche from Aegis Dynamics. This is the best cooler you can get, but honestly overkill for running a ballistic kit, so feel free to save AUEC in the cooler slot. For the power plant, we have 2 size 2 JS400s from Aimon and Risco, which prioritize power pips. For the shields, we're running 2 size 2 FR76s from Gorgon Defender Industries, prioritizing the shield health pool. And finally, on the quantum drive, it's the XL1 from Waytech, which we're using for the best speed and reach. Feel free to deprioritize this as it's just navigation, not combat related. For missile options, it has 2 size 4 missile racks equipped with Thunderbolt 3's stock and 2 size 4 missiles racks with 8 Pioneer 1s. Given that these missiles are already EM, feel free to keep this default configuration. I did. I have to comment on this. The bubble canopy is amazing. It is almost complete visibility for head tracking, which is essential in this interceptor style of flight. Can't compliment this enough, and really looks to be the standard moving forward, similar to the Kruger Wolf series. We just love the visibility. Nothing's blocking our vision. It's nice to have. For defense, the M80 is sitting on 5,000 HP with 7,200 HP of armor. It has 41 physical and 32 energy damage deflection. It has minus 19% resistance to physical ammunition, which is its vulnerability, and 8% resistance to energy. Paired with 2 size 2 shields, it's got a lot of defense to get by. Now, to circle back with these armor values, they're significantly lower than the Scorpius, which I'll use as a comparison, by half, but twice as much on the shield side of things, meaning 2 shields. If we get a meta shift and the meta were to shift to lasers, you're going to see a huge return on investment with the second shield that the Scorpius does not have. As a standard heavy fighter, for defense, you might think these values aren't very high because its defense isn't in these values. It's in its flight and offensive weapons. For flight, the Origin M80 has 225 SEM speed with 560 boosted on the forward strafe, just shy of the Scorpius with a top nav speed of 1400. With 14.3 Gs of forward thrust and 23.6 Gs boosted, this is interceptor tuning. If it wants to get out, it's gonna get out. What do these values mean, you might be asking? It means we're entering the golden era of heavy fighters. For years, the heavy fighter has been too slow to maneuver, too slow on the pitch to rate fight, too slow on the straights to escape, and ultimately just food for the other archetypes like the snub, interceptors, light, and medium fighters. It has been the least favorable archetype class. Those days seem to be over. The M80 is built for jousting, flying in and out of engagements at will, and now has room to land huge lethal strafe runs in team fights, making it the second successful heavy fighter since Master Modes. Heavy fighters have never really had a place in competitive PvP until the Scorpius, thanks to the Interceptor tuning, and it looks like the ship performance team have understood that and are looking to recapture it. And it's worked. But it's worked for a single seat fighter. I want to congratulate the devs. I think this is important because as we all know, heavy fighters have been a huge hindrance for so long, and the M80 is now a competitive, viable solo seat option to the PvP meta with a unique playstyle that hasn't existed until now. A huge damage threat, able to manipulate its position in fights, and a target which needs to be addressed and dealt with, but carefully balanced where it actually has skin in the game and isn't just armor shield tanking everything. A careful balance of ratios which looks to have landed at a really nice spot. A testament to development that understands the PvP balancing while also having a unique playstyle which is refreshing and buttery smooth. It flies really nice, it's just fun to fly. Strategy. Here's where things get interesting. For strategy, we want to fly the ship to its strengths and be mindful of its weaknesses. You have some of the hardest hitting weapons in the fighter class, so we want to put those to work while simultaneously having the interceptor tuning, meaning we're faster on the straights. I want you guys picking targets larger in size first and making your way down to the smaller targets, and planning out your strafe runs. The moment you start to hear the rain, meaning incoming fire audio cue, then you hammer the forward strafe, check your 6 with head tracking for someone merging behind you, and if you're in the clear, you plan your second pass and repeat. Every fight should include multiple passes. You're not there to soak damage. You're there to get the most amount of damage out of your guns as possible by stretching your ship's life as far as it can go. The combination of your boost and your ship's hull is the fuel to the M80. By the time you're full red, it's time to look for an exit plan or gamble and try to finish it off. Given you have the heavy fighter health and armor, death shouldn't sneak up on you, so keep a close eye on your display for your health progression. Now, here's where this video is going to get really special. I'm going to teach you guys how to 1v1 a light fighter. Understand, in this matchup, you're up against your counter. You're rock, they're paper. This is because you're not the brawler type. You're an interceptor built to chase and escape, and we're going to use those traits to our advantage. The goal against another agile fighter like this is to put his momentum where we want it. Try to visualize his boost pool as you're in the 1v1 and his win condition. He needs to push up to you. He needs to offset from your nose because of the massive damage threat, and then rate position around us. Given we have that health and armor to work with, we're going to let him get there at the cost of his boost. So we start the fight at anywhere between 600 meters to 1 kilometer. We backstrafe as hard as we can, and we get him onto his forward speed wall, meaning he's using his main thruster to push with forward. Because of this drift, he's where we want him. Then when he gets there, we're going to joust through roughly to 1 kilometer or less and repeat. Each time this happens, we can imagine he's used roughly a third of his boost, meaning we perform this one more time and we know he's close to being empty on the boost tank. We'll perform this once again. Now we've traded a portion of our hull, emptying his boost. But it's critical. We need him to push. We need him to try and get a position. Once we've reset this distance, we're going to hammer the boost in reverse and put all of our focus into aiming him down. Now we can't offset the nose. We have him trapped on his forward speed wall without boost, which we've positioned ourselves against with the reverse drift, and he's a sitting duck. All we're thinking about the entire 1v1 is where his boost is going to be. And we're trading our hull for that pool. If you can't finish the kill in the window, you can repeat this entire process to close the deal. Just pray your opponent doesn't know what you're up to. Aesthetics. As for the aesthetics, I gotta say, I'm just not a huge fan of Origin ships, but I found myself warming up to it the more I flew it. On stream, I kept joking how it looks amazing from behind, almost like a Lamborghini, but just don't look at your ship in the mirror and you'll be good. It just seems a little too weighty for me as far as the appearance goes. I would have loved if it was more slim to the middle of the ship. They almost captured the J20 Chinese Money Dragon, but the ship looks great regardless. Just Origin ship aesthetics were never particularly my cup of tea. In summary, all in all, this ship has been an incredible success and is a testament to understanding the ecosystem of ship archetypes by the balancing team, and the future of heavy fighters looks bright. The M80 has a huge damage throughput while also having defense that isn't over the top, and it means it has skin in the game, while still being at risk of other archetypes. It has a unique role to play and bridges the gap between fighters and specializing in punching above the heavy fighter archetype. It's not overpowered and it's definitely not underperforming. It's just really well done. Bravo to CRG for this one. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I hope I've given you some insight and you've learned something today. And I'll see you in the next video. Fly safe or don't. Cheers.